Next on Worcester News Tonight, the small town of Harvard has been turned into a movie set. We have all the details. Plus, an NBA legend stops by his alma mater, Holy Cross, to speak on his new book. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The Humane Society of the United States is offering a reward for information surrounding an illegally shot hawk. Auburn Animal Control saying it had to be euthanized as a result of being shot down by a person. Our Cam Jandro has the story.
A reward is being offered in the shooting of this red-tailed hawk in Auburn. The town's animal control officer says it's a serious offense.
So red-tailed hawks are actually protected in the state under the Migratory Bird Act. So it does make it a federal offense to shoot, kill, or harm any of these birds.
Amy Contois responded to the scene where the hawk was found earlier this month. It was shot in one of its wings and unable to fly.
It wasn't actually an older injury, so it wasn't shot the day we received the call. So the entry wound was infected, and there was actually compromised blood supply to the wing.
The hawk was taken to Tufts Wildlife Clinic in Grafton, but had to be euthanized as a result of its injuries. According to the Humane Society, shooting a bird like this is also known as poaching. They say it's a widespread problem and estimate there are as many poachers as legal hunters. It can lead to fines of up to $15,000 or carry a sentence of up to 6 months in prison.
So the Humane Society of the United States is offering a $2,500 reward for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons that shot this hawk.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Legendary Boston Celtic and Holy Cross Basketball Hall of Famer Bob Cousy made his way back to his alma mater tonight to discuss the book about his life. Author of the book, Gary Pomerantz, joined Cousy in the discussion on stage tonight. Pomerantz says he conducted more than 50 interviews with Cousy over the last few years to write this book and says it covers a wide range of topics, from basketball to family to civil rights. Pomerantz says Cousy's been doing a steep self-evaluation and regrets not doing more to speak out against the racial divide and social change in the country at that time.
He wishes that as captain of the Celtics, he had spoken out publicly against the racism that Russell was facing in Boston and around the league. And he wishes, too, that he had pulled him aside privately and just said, Russ, I've got your back.
The book, The Last Pass, Cousy, Russell, the Celtics, and What Matters in the End, was published earlier this week. If you have sensitive documents lying around and you're looking for a way to safely get rid of them, the Better Business Bureau and Bay State Savings Bank are teaming up to hold a shred day. The Better Business Bureau's Kim Case says this event is for people who want to get rid of documents which contain things like a social security number or other personal information without worrying about if it will get into the wrong hands. She says, unfortunately, identity theft has become a big issue, and they want to do their part to protect either themselves or others' personal information.
Last year alone, there were over 16 million victims of identity theft fraud, and it took a toll of over $16 billion worth of financial losses.
The Shred Day will be held at Bay State Savings Bank on Grafton Street tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The small town of Harvard has been transformed into a movie set for the remake of Little Women. Our Chandler Walsh was there today and has the story.
Award-winning actress Laura Dern walks through the movie set of Little Women. Columbia Pictures began filming in the center of Harvard, drawing a small crowd waiting to catch a glimpse of Hollywood. The location seems to be an ideal setting for the period piece.
That common hasn't changed all that much since the 1800s.
Negotiations between Harvard and Columbia Pictures began in August. Selectman SKLAR says the idea to film there was a fluke.
They were driving by, looking at something else. They stopped to have lunch at the general store, and they said, oh, this could be a great place for Little Women.
Dern plays a leading role in a star-studded cast, but on Friday it was mostly extras in Civil War-era costumes occupying a dirt-filled common. Harvard police shut down part of town center, but they managed to keep more roads open than expected.
We worried about school buses. That was our biggest concern, was how we deal with the school traffic. They made it very easy today.
In addition to attracting more people to Harvard, Columbia is paying the town to film there. Town Administrator Tim Bragan says the money will be used for a number of organizations.
Park and Rec oversees the town commons, so they'll be getting money. Senior citizens, which were closed down today, they'll be getting money.
Residents Karen Zykis and Pat Seipel say the filming adds to Harvard's history and its ties to Little Women author Louisa May Alcott.
We have the history of Louisa May Alcott. Louisa May Alcott used to live here in Fruitlands over at the museum.
I think that's exciting. She might be our famous resident that only lived here for a few years.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Good Chemistry in Worcester is approved by the state's Department of Public Health to reopen their retail sales for medical marijuana. Last month, DPH ordered a cease and desist order for the concerns about the use of pesticides at the facility's cultivation operation in Bellingham. President Matthew Huron says in a statement sent to Worcester News Tonight, Good Chemistry takes health, safety, and compliance very seriously. We understand the department is responsible for the public safety and welfare of the Commonwealth, and we applaud them and their efforts. The Worcester County Sheriff's Department hosting a special graduation Friday. The graduates are part of a program focused on helping people recover from addiction instead of jail time. Our Olivia Lemon was there, and she has the story.
Now I look forward to spending time with them instead of pushing them away.
Casey Nelson is emotional as she reads a personal message about her drug recovery process. She's been sober for 8 months.
I was addicted to painkillers for 8 years, with failed attempts to quit on my own.
Friday, the 39-year-old and a handful of others graduated from the Worcester County Sheriff's Office Community Correction Center.
When I was incarcerated, I had failed in my probation, which led me into this program. When I had the opportunity to join this, I was like, this is what I need, and it's been great.
Sheriff Lou Evangelitis says the program is offered to people in the court system, giving them a different option instead of going to jail.
It's the most productive way to approach this epidemic we're in and do it in a way that really turns people's lives around.
The center offers many different things, including substance abuse treatment, therapy, and education.
A client is typically in our center between 6 to 9 months. And that's just because instead of just tackling substance abuse, we also tackle the criminal thought process.
Casey says her message for anyone going through something similar is to never give up hope and reach out for help.
If you're ready, this program, you'll blossom in this program.
That was our Olivia Lemon reporting. The city is celebrating the work of a person at the center of replanting Worcester after Asian longhorned beetles destroyed more than 35,000 trees in the area. Peggy Madaw is the former executive director of the Worcester Tree Initiative, who helped the city reach a goal of planting 30,000 trees in just 5 years. Madaw moved to New Jersey but visited Worcester Friday, and as a welcome home, the city held a tree planting ceremony in her honor. Madaw says trees make a tremendous difference in neighborhoods.
People think of them as a beautiful aesthetic thing to have in your yard. There's so much more than that. It's helping with reducing the heat and providing shade, reducing noise. But more than that, we're learning that when neighborhoods that have a tree canopy have less violence, people are healthier.
The Tree Initiative was able to come in and replant and re-educate people about the importance of trees and how to take care of trees, and restored our urban canopy in those neighborhoods. So, you know, it's really appropriate that we honor somebody like Peggy with a tree because she has provided that great benefit to so many people in our city.
City Manager Edward Augustus says Worcester is still planting hundreds of trees every year. Madaw's tree was planted at O'Reed Castle Park. A second grade student in Barre gets a unique opportunity Friday. He got to patrol the hallways with his school resource officer. The police department says it's part of an effort to bond with students. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Officer Lucas Josephson reports for duty. On this day, the second grader is the school resource officer at Ruggles Lane Elementary School in Barre. Lucas followed around Quabbin Regional School resource officer Russell Davidson. The two rode in his cruiser and patrolled hallways. Officer Davidson supported the idea to form better bonds with students.
Show them the positive side of policing.
The Barre schools in the district never had a resource officer until the end of last year. Officer Davidson says he has already seen a difference.
Now it's much more involved. I'm starting to know the kids by their names. I can call them. They come to me if they need help with something.
Lucas's mom, Kelly, is a teacher at the school and sees important relationships being made.
Having a police officer visible in just a non-threatening way is, I think, great for the kids.
Lucas says one day he may want to be a police officer, and although shy, he seemed to love patrolling the hallways in front of his friends.
Yeah, they're kind of jealous.